Welcome to the deep dive. What if everything you thought you knew about the afterlife was missing something crucial? Today, we're diving deep into, well, a really dynamic time, the Second Temple era.
Absolutely. A time of huge change, immense theological, ferment.
Right. They were grappling with this massive question. How can a just godlike good people suffer? Theodicy, right.
Exactly. And that pressure, it really pushed Jewish thought beyond what the early Hebrew Bible said or didn't say about life after death.
Leading to this, whole spectrum of beliefs.
Yeah, from the Sadducees saying, nope, nothing after death, to the Pharisees believing in bodily resurrection. Quite a range.
And we're looking at this through a specific lens today, aren't we? This maximum salvation idea.
We are. It's an interpretive framework, really. We're using it to see if there's a hidden coherence in some really influential non-canonical texts like 1 Enoch, 4 Ezra, the Apocalypse of Peter.
Okay, so what's the core idea? What does this framework actually propose?
Well, basically, maximal salvation for all Adamic humanity. That's us, descendants of Adam.
But there's a twist.
There is. It also suggests a logical, quite limited form of annihilation or non-existence for certain specific groups. It moves away from eternal conscious torment for most people.
Okay, let's unpack that. This framework starts with a big distinction, right? Sons of light versus sons of darkness.
Precisely. It's fundamental. Sons of light or Adamic humans destined for salvation. Sons of darkness, identified as the Nephilim or Rephaim.
The offspring of fallen angels and human women from Genesis 6 and Enoch.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And the framework points to two sort of appearances, pre-flood Nephilim and post-flood Rephaim.
And this connects to the Canaanites.
It offers a theological angle, yeah. Okay. The idea being that the extermination of certain tribes was seen as maybe a purification, protecting the Adamic line from this other seed, like vessels fitted for destruction in Romans 9, excluded by nature, not just actions.
That's definitely a strong concept. Now, what about the idea that God saves all? Does this framework agree?
Not in an absolute sense, no. It argues all in Scripture nearly always has a context.
Like in 1 Timothy, all men to be saved.
Right. The framework suggests that means the entire Adamic race. There's a key point about death itself in 1 Corinthians 15.
Go on.
The Greek word katargio, often translated abolished, might actually mean render idle or put down.
So death is neutralized, but non-existence is still possible for the excluded. It doesn't undo God's victory.
Exactly. God still wins, but annihilation remains a possibility for some.
Okay, so who faces annihilation? You mentioned two paths.
First, the Rephaim. There's a retranslation of Isaiah 26.14 that's crucial. Dead, they live not. Rephaim, they rise not.
No resurrection for them, explicitly.
Right. It provides a scriptural anchor for non-existence. Second, for a very, very few Adamic humans, the unpardonable sin.
Which is?
A willful, final rejection of God's grace after fully experiencing it. Like in Hebrews 6. It's described almost like a legal transfer, choosing to join the congregation of the Rephaim, as Proverbs puts it.
So a conscious, settled choice with ultimate consequences. And you mentioned salvation isn't just future.
Correct. Big emphasis on salvation being a present reality. Deliverance from sin and evil now. Like Corinthians says, now is the day of salvation.
Okay. So if salvation starts now, what about that time between death and final judgment? The intermediate state. What do these Second Temple texts say?
They explore it quite a bit. 1 Enoch 22 is fascinating. It describes 4 hollow places for spirits.
Compartments.
Sort of, yeah. And for one group, the sinners complete in transgression, it says very clearly. Their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence.
Wow. Direct support for non-resurrection for some wicked.
Powerful ancient support, yes. Then you have 4 Ezra.
What does that add?
It focuses on the psychological suffering of the wicked soul. Grief, shame, regret. 7 torments.
Which sounds like?
Well, the framework interprets this as the suffering loss from 1 Corinthians 3. Painful, maybe purifying, but for Adamic souls who are ultimately salvageable, not eternal damnation.
So a development from the old idea of Sheol into something more structured.
Exactly. Like the rich man and Lazarus parable shows Abraham's bosom, Hades, a chasm, but the Rephaim, they're outside even that structure. Total exclusion.
Okay, a complex picture. Now, the Apocalypse of Peter gets quite graphic, doesn't it? With punishments.
Extremely vivid, yes. Blasphemers hung by tongues, things like that. Lex talionis, fitting punishments.
How does the framework handle those eternal torment?
No. It sees them either as powerful metaphors for that intense purgative suffering for Adamic souls, or maybe the actual fate of the sons of darkness before they're finally annihilated. But definitely not eternal conscious torment for any Adamic person.
That distinction is key.
Yeah.
And one last thing. Can people pray others out of these states? Intercession.
Interesting contrast there. For Ezra is firm, judgment day is final, no one shall ever pray for another.
Which fits the framework's emphasis on irreversible choice for the unpardonable sin.
Precisely. The final verdict is just, based on settled will. The Apocalypse of Peter has a passage hinting at intercession, but it's seen as less aligned with this overall structure.
Right. So, pulling this all together, what we've looked at isn't just some ancient curiosity.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's a really intricate vision of the afterlife, one that tries to balance God's love for humanity, his justice, and, crucially, the weight of our choices.
A robust alternative, perhaps, to some traditional views.
This certainly offers a different way to think about these enduring questions.
So here's something to think about. If salvation is something happening now, and our ultimate destiny is shaped by these informed choices, how does that change the way you, listening right now, think about responsibility, about grace, in your own life today?
What new questions does this deep dive spark for you?